Welcome to the High Performance Man podcast. I am your host, John Fayocavitz. On this show, I interview successful men who have built impressive careers and businesses, founders, CEOs, and senior leaders, and professionals who have operated at a high level for years. We talk about what actually made them successful. So the goal is simple: to learn directly from men who have done it so we can apply those insights into our own careers, businesses, and lives and continue raising our own standard of performance. The show is sponsored by the Prime Performance Method. The Prime Performance Method is designed specifically for high-performing men who have achieved success in their careers but feel like their body and energy have taken a hit along the way. I help busy professional men regain strength, lose weight, and feel younger within 8 weeks without the long workouts, extreme dieting, or disrupting their schedule. If you are a high-performing man who wants to feel as strong and energized as you are successful, message me, John Fayocavitz, on LinkedIn. On today's show, we have Errol Allen, who is the owner and principal consultant of Errol Allen Consulting, where he is responsible for bringing clarity to the company's operations. Thank you very much for joining us today, Errol.
Thank you, John, for having me. Happy to be here with you.
Welcome. And let's get right into the first question. What is the most important lesson you've learned so far that has helped you become successful in your business?
Pick something that you love, right? Pick something that you love, because it can be tough starting and running a business, right? You pick something that you love and it'll keep you moving. If you don't love it, it's easy to give up if it's not something that you love, right? But if you love it, it's the reverse. It's easy to keep going because you love it. So I say, pick something that you love.
And they say something like, if you love it that much, it's not a job.
That's right. I love what I do, so it's not work.
So when you get up in the morning, you're ready to go and you're energized, and because you know you love what you're doing.
That's right. Yeah.
A lot of people do not have that, where they get up every day, they have a 9-to-5 job, or they hate it, So your biggest thing right there is just to love what you're doing.
Right.
Awesome. Okay. Second, what do you think hinders a lot of men today from reaching their full potential?
Thinking that they can't.
Thinking that they can't.
Right. Mindset. Not believing enough in themselves. Not believing enough in their gift. Or maybe not even knowing. I believe everybody has at least one gift.
Right.
A lot of us have multiple gifts, right? But you have to believe in your skill set and believe that you can, because if you don't, either one of those, if you don't believe either one of those, you're going to hesitate to start.
Right.
And then you run the risk of living a life where you don't live up to your potential.
Right. And you think believing in something that they do is the biggest thing. Like you just believing, finding out, because I think a lot of people, it's hard for them to know what their gift is. I mean, that's what I see. A lot of people, they quit things before they even realize that they have a gift of that sort.
Right. It is when people say, "Man, you make that look so easy," when really it's not a big deal. That you're not even thinking about it, right? You're just doing.
Right.
But it might be difficult to somebody else, and they say, and you keep hearing that. You keep hearing that. That's a bell. That bell should be going off. Hey, maybe this is something that I should be really looking at.
Right.
And then once you identify your gift, hone it. Right. Hone your skill set.
Educate.
Yes. And believe in yourself enough to take a risk on yourself. Because nothing is going to happen until you take that risk.
Right. And if you can't invest in yourself, who are you going to invest in?
That's right. I had this saying, John, you'll never steal second base standing on first base.
That's awesome.
You know, you got to get out in that gap, right?
Yeah.
You got to get out there. And the biggest risk about getting in that gap is if there's a left-handed pitcher on the mound, because he's looking right at you.
Right at you.
Yeah. And it's a flick of the wrist, and you could be out. Or if you have a gunslinger behind the plate, that even when you get out in that gap and take off, you know, he has that gunslinger arm, you know, he can get it down to second base and you're out. But either way, it's a risk. And if you don't get out in that gap, you don't know what'll happen. So, but you'll never steal second base standing on first. You never will.
Right. That's an awesome analogy. That's awesome. I might steal it someday. You didn't copyright it, did you?
Nope.
Just like you get a copyright. Just things come to the top of my head. Did you hear about that? You know, the Iceman, you heard George Gervin?
Yes.
The Iceman?
Yeah.
Just things pop in my head. You were talking. Caleb Williams wants to trademark that Iceman.
Really?
And George Gervin said, there's only one Iceman.
That's right.
He said, you're not getting it.
That's right. No, Caleb Williams has to find something else.
He's just starting, and this guy's been a legend.
Yeah.
You know, these young whippersnappers, man, they think they got everything. They own everything.
Yeah. You know, he's only played a couple of years, like
3 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, Errol, you mentioned that you bring clarity. What are you exactly helping people do?
I help my clients to look at their processes, right? How they do things. A lot of times, businesses either have no processes mapped out to see how they do things, or in their mind they think, yeah, this is how we do it, right? So I process map their business. Let's see how you're doing, what you're doing, so that you can actually see what's actually going on and to identify opportunities to make it better.
Okay, so you actually save people money, companies.
Yes, it can result in them saving money, improving employee morale, customer experience. Their customers have better experiences with them because we make things better. So there's internal benefits and external benefits as well.
How long have you been doing this?
Since 2012.
2012?
Yeah.
So you took a risk on yourself, like you were mentioning before. Did you work in a 9 to 5, or what were you doing before that?
I was working a 9 to 5. I had been there 10 years. This was my last corporate gig. I'd been there 10 years. And I just decided it was time to go so I could do my own thing, man. Like around the 5th year, John, my 5th year being there was something within me saying there's more for you to do, you know. I took that job because I needed a job. I had been laid off from previous job. I needed a job. I was going through a divorce. My kids were very young then, and I needed to take care of my kids, right? So that opportunity came along. So I just, you know, took advantage of it. But around that 5th year, man, that something within me just kept saying, there's more for you to do. And I ignored it, you know. 6 years, same thing. 7 years, then it started getting louder, you know, louder. Things started to happen there at the company that it was like somebody's trying to get a message over to me, you know. And that 10th year rolled around and I went on vacation. Before I went on vacation, I told my suit, I said, hey, man, when I come back, I'm going to give you my 2 weeks notice. And he and I were very close. And he looked at me, he said, no, you're not. Just go on vacation, you know, have a good time, come back, you know, we'll see you when you get back. I said, okay. And when I got back, I had to go by the office and he was there. And I said, you remember what I told you before on vacation? And he said, you're serious? I'm like, mm-hmm. And I sat down right there and typed out my 2 weeks notice and emailed it to him. And 2 weeks passed and I was gone. Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's what more people need to do. Take, like you said, when you started the podcast, take a chance on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Take a
Mm-hmm.
chance. Sorry about that. So, all right. My next question. For most men on the road to business or professional success, other areas of their life get sacrificed. What's been one area of your life that has suffered? And if it has suffered, what have you done to be successful now?
Mm. Um, I guess
They
one
call it a
thing,
balance, I guess, right?
yeah, that in order to be successful in business, you have to take care of yourself health wise, right? Because you'll take care of yourself health wise, there will be no business for you to run, right? Because your health won't be good, right? So at first, I had stopped going to the gym like I normally would, right? But I'm like, wait, in order for you to be, healthy, because when I left corporate America, John, I was 53, right? So in order for you to have that energy that you need, you can't neglect this. You
No,
you can't do it. So I had to get myself back into the mindset of what comes first. And I even started going to the gym first thing in the morning, like 6 o'clock, before I do anything else. Go at because I knew if I waited till the afternoon, the evening, I wasn't going.
you procrastinate.
Yeah, wasn't going. So plus I'm a morning person anyway. It's like, hey, just go to the gym. Be there. You don't need to be there 2 hours. But get your routine, hour routine. Come on out of there, right?
Yep.
So I had to reverse myself, man, and not neglect that. Um, because without good health, there's nothing else.
Exactly. I mean, that's what everybody when I'm on my profession, I mean, they say, my kids, my kids, my kids, right? That's their first priority. That's great. But if you're not around to take care of your kids,
Mm-hmm.
you got to put you first in
Right,
everything that you do. You have to put you first.
right,
Okay.
right,
Because
right.
everything else will come into balance from there. So, so that's basically what I've, been hearing from a lot of men on the podcast health is most of my podcasters have been very healthy. And that's because they realize they're successful for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because they have to put their health first. Okay. In order to get to where they ought to be. And
Right,
then the next thing is relationships and things like that come into play.
right.
Okay. We get the wife and the kids and the girlfriend and the things like that. When do you think that you're most at peace?
When do I think I'm most at peace?
Yeah. I mean,
Man,
do you
when
do
I'm just sitting.
meditations?
Go ahead, John.
Do you do any like meditation, anything like that? Anything that you have an hour of your time, maybe Bible reading or something like that? Or
I have my affirmation routine, but when I'm really at peace, John, is when I'm here at home and I have my music on.
okay,
Um, and I like smooth jazz. So just me and the jazz, I could be sitting here doing something on my computer. Um, and that's when I'm most at peace. And that's also when I'm most creative is solitude, the music, and me. And ideas just start to flow um, when I'm in that environment.
yeah, that's cool. I mean, and the thing that when you bring that up, your brain, when your mind isn't cluttered, things just start to spiel.
Yes.
When you start thinking about things after thing after thing after thing, you clutter the brain, and the brain just starts to shut down everything else.
Right.
Your imagination, your thinking, your decision making, all of those things. When you got so much anxiety and stress, it just overwhelms. So
Right.
using
Right.
your jazz, and it just all of a sudden bang opens up the mind and things that you can do.
Right. 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 I've learned to not try to do two and three things at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, it may work for some other people. It doesn't work for me.
Right.
Even if I'm sitting here on the computer, um, and my music is on, and then there's something going on, like if YouTube is on the computer and they're both going at the same time, I have to say, no, 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 that's too much noise, right?
Yeah.
There's too much noise. I turn one of them off. And usually it's the YouTube turn it off. Because my mind doesn't work like that. All that, there's just too much coming in at the same time.
I also, again, I love it when people say, I'm a great multitasker. Well, to me, when you're a multitasker, something isn't being done 100%.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
can't do two things, three things at ultimate. You know what I mean? You just can't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm a firm believer in doing one goal, one set thing, and let's move to the next one and so on and build. Okay. But when they say I'm a great multitasker, I snicker and go, well, what are you great at then?
Right, right. Because being successful requires focus.
Yes.
Um, I don't think the brain was meant to multitask, to be honest with
No.
you. That's just something we came up with, especially when technology started making leaps.
Yeah.
We came up with to be able to multitask. I don't think the brain is meant to do that, and it requires focus to be
Oh, yeah.
good at whatever it is you're doing, business, whatever, musician, athlete. It requires focus.
Yes.
You don't see athletes trying to do two things at the same time.
No. Nope. And you see it going again in my profession, not the health profession, but I'm also a high school football and lacrosse coach. Okay. So, and I've also coached at the collegiate level in both high school and football. And the college is so different because they are focused. What I'm trying to teach these kids is they got everything going on,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't get better at their stick work or in lacrosse because they're focusing on some other things. They're looking at videos of Division I players doing this when they can't do that.
Right, right,
And it's
right,
the same in your business and in our business. It's the same thing. Focus on that one thing for that company, okay, and make sure that they're set with that, and then we'll go on to the next thing. But
right,
you gotta get something done right the first time.
right, right, right. Yeah, it requires focus,
Yeah.
and extended focus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's one thing that everybody can work on is being able to focus for an extended period of time. You know, because thoughts are going to come in, and
Oh
you have to
yeah.
be able to say nope, nope, nope. Got to finish. Nope, working on this right now. Nope. You might pick up the pen and make a little note or something, right? So you don't lose that thought. But to stop what you're doing and chase this new thought, it's like, no, you stay focused right here, right here, right here. So, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
Good. All right. Well, if you give one piece of advice to other men on their journey of achieving success, what would that be? Would it be what you mentioned in the top?
Yeah. Believe in yourself.
And love what you're doing.
Yeah. Believe in yourself and love what you're doing. And ask yourself, what are my gifts? Lean to your gift. You know,
Yeah.
don't do something because somebody else is doing and you think that's what you want to do too. Lean to your gift because your gift will make room for you. You know, so just whatever's natural, you're naturally good at, lean to that, hone that. Um, you'll be surprised where it'll take you.
Right. Exactly. And I think, like you said, mentioned back before, is the belief. Make sure you stick with that belief. Because I think what you said before in the beginning was they quit too early
Hmm.
of finding their gift or what their gift is, and they just stop.
Yeah, because
That
it's going to get tough. It is. Things will get tough, and you have to press.
yeah.
You have to press through it.
And another thing is adversity.
Yeah,
How do you? And that's where a lot of people, when adversity hits, that's when they stop.
yep, yep. well, I didn't know it was going to be like this. It's too hard, and you could be that close, right?
Yes.
You can be that close. And if adversity comes and you turn around and go the other direction, man, you may miss um, something big, so just keep pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. Well, Errol, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time. The conversation we had and the insights you have given us and our audience is absolutely great. Okay. And as a reminder to everyone listening, this show is brought to you by the Prime Performance Method, where I help high performing men rebuild their strength, energy, and confidence without sacrificing their careers. If you're ready to feel strong in your body as you are successful in your business, message me at John Fayocavitz on LinkedIn. Until our next episode, perform strong in all areas of your life.